Hey guys, can your kids read two-letter words yet? Or are you just starting out on the process of reading and just looking for tips on how to get them reading these words accurately and quickly, or at least as quickly as possible? You know, everybody's reading speed is different depending on their brain speed, their processing speed. So if your child is very slow at sounding out words, that's okay. Let them be slow. Let them go at their pace because they need to input this information into their brain. And the only way that's going to happen is if you let them do it at their pace. Now I'm going to show you a way to make it a little faster, easier, hopefully, if you're struggling with it. But with that said, some kids need to sound these words out over and over and over again. Even if you think, oh, you know that, you read that yesterday. No, that's not true for all kids. Some kids will remember it because they did it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Other kids will remember it after they do it 10, 20, 30 times. Other kids will remember it after they do it 100, 200, 300 times. And I can't decide that for your child. I wish that I could. I wish I could wave my magic wand and help them have that great memory. But if your kid is severely dyslexic, it's probably going to take a lot longer, and that's okay. The key is you want to keep your child moving forward, actually being able to figure out the words. And you want to value accuracy over speed. A lot of people make this mistake. They think, oh, my child has to read quickly. That is not true. Your child can comprehend and read slowly once you teach them how, but they must read accurately to comprehend. Now, some will learn to read very quickly, and that's awesome. A lot of kids, this will be very, very fast for. Other kids, and it doesn't matter how old they are, have a slower processor and have some memory issues with visual learning. And so they are going to see this word and it's going to be like they never saw it before in their life, even if they read it 15 times last week, yesterday, 10 minutes ago, 1 minute ago, 30 seconds ago. Okay? Some kids just aren't going to recognize it when they see it again. And that's okay. You need to understand that. You need to get okay with that, because the more anxious you make them about not remembering something, the less they're going to want to work with you. True story, true story. I hear so many parents who say, my kids won't work with me. You know, even if they're teachers, they say, I'm a teacher, but my child won't work with me. So they hire me to do it. Well, the only difference between me and the parent is typically, well, one, I know what I'm doing when it comes to reading words, but even after they know what they're doing, the biggest difference is I am usually very patient with children, especially if they're trying. Right? I don't rush them. I don't expect them to know it. I don't give them any bad looks if they forget it. I don't say, oh, you know this, and try to compliment them into it. I just help them read. And I help them learn to read because they need to do it as many times as they need to do it to get it. So typically they will work with me even if they won't work with their parents. So if you want your child to work with you, remember, be patient. Don't expect them to know it just because they just read it. Don't expect them to just magically get it just because they got it a minute ago, okay? If you're working with dyslexic kids, they have to do a lot more work than others to do the same work. So praise, praise, praise effort over speed, over correctness, any of that. Praise the effort. Now keep working. All right. So the first thing we want to know when we're reading even little words like this, we have to know our letters and sounds. Make sure your kids know their letters and sounds. Vowels are extremely important. They're our glue. And every time there's a vowel, we need to know it. Your kids need to know it because they're going to need to drag it into that next sound. So remember, we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, and U. A should sound like an apple. Ah. See the apple with its stem? E, this is an ear, and this is Granny's hand around her ear. You want your kids to say eh, 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 like they can't hear. I is an ice cream cone where the ice cream is falling off. And we go, ick, because it's going to be so icky when it splats on the ground. O is the mouth wide open. Say, oh, for the doctor. O is wide open. Open your throat, open your mouth. And then poor U is getting punched in his stomach. He says, ugh, why'd you punch me? Okay, so we have 5 vowels. A, E, I, O, and U, okay? We have to know those. Help your kids make sure they know those vowels really quickly upon seeing them. They're really, really important. Now, when we want to read these 2-letter words, put these in front of your child and remind them to drag the vowel into the next sound. So it should sound like this. In. I don't stop saying this sound until I say that sound. In. Do you hear it? In. If I stop and I go in, they might hear it because it's only 2 sounds, but I guarantee you as the words get longer, they're not going to hear it. It's going to be harder. It's going to be slower because you're putting that big space in between. Instead, whenever you get to a vowel, drag it into the next sound. In, like that. This one, open the mouth. On. See how easy that is to teach? You don't need to just do sight words for these. You need to teach your child how to read them, especially if they're having trouble, because they need to be able to figure it out when they're on their own and you're not with them and they're mixed in with a whole bunch of other words. So show them how to do it. Here's our apple. At. Notice I'm not saying at. Again, they might hear that when it's a 2-letter word, but as you get bigger, it gets so confusing. So drag that right into that. At. Okay, this one, we have our ice cream falling off. Right? Is. See how I drag it right into that? Is. Make sure after you say the word, you use it in a sentence, like he is happy, or he is getting ready for school, whatever the sentence is, but use it so your child can hear it and go, oh, is, right? How about this one? Up. Hear how I'm dragging it right into that puh? Up. Go up. Help your child know which direction is up. All right, so there you go, guys. It's that easy to read the 2-letter words, but you need to know your vowel sounds and you need to teach your child to drag them into that next sound. So go get to it. Let's get your kids reading and writing. And remember, if you need help, you need a program to follow that's going to be this simple, step-by-step, teaching them how to do everything, look up Black Belt Reading with Katie Huller. If you can't find it, leave a comment below. I'll get you set up. All right, talk to you soon. Good luck.